Okay. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Okay. So the talk for this discussion is going to be, or should I say, I'm sorry, it is the third time. The topic for this discussion is on radical changes to your life. So I always use myself as an example if I can, if I've gone through something or if I'm going through something and it pertains, okay? So in this instance, we're talking about radical change in your life that you did not anticipate occurring, okay? For a year and a half, middle of 2023 to now, I've been experiencing radical changes. And why I'm bringing this conversation topic up today is because the changes that have occurred in my life as an indigo, as a light worker, chosen one, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you know yourself as, and those that are here also as helpers and feel like you're here to do good, regardless of whether you see yourself as a light worker or not. The radical changes for me the last year and a half have felt like this is the way I was taking it in the beginning, like a punishment, like a cruel joke, like what did I do? I feel like the redheaded stepchild. What did I do? You know, my my philosophy in life is it, if I'm gonna do the time, at least let me do the crime. You know, if you're gonna push me into a corner and have my back against the wall constantly, at least let me be guilty of something. So I felt like I was being severely punished all this time by Creator and Source, and I just wanted to know, what the hell did I do wrong? Just tell me, you know, even if you're in a relationship, right, and the person stays angry at you or is angry at you, and you're like that meme that's coming out, the little mini video meme that's coming out lately with the two guys, and I don't even know what it's about because I don't watch TV. I haven't been watching TV for 3 months, guys, because it just doesn't interest me. So I don't even know what's what. But there's two guys, and everybody keeps doing these cute little memes about, you know, what he's saying. And I'm talking to my boss, you know, usually this is me talking to my boss. I'm not coming in tomorrow, you know, things like that, right? And the boss is giving the mean stare, right? The beat down with the eyes, like, how dare you? I just felt like, for me, it was like I kept talking to Source, and I kept talking, you know, to Creator and the arcs, and I was like, what the hell did I do? Dude, I mean, like, for reals? What did I do? Just tell me already so I can fix it. And if I, you know, I'll apologize, you know, all the forgive me for my sins, you know. My prayer is always, this is the way I always endeavor to pray. Because what we call sin, what we know of as sin, may or may not be sin. Or it may be worse than what we think. So I could have glowered at somebody, you know, glared and glowered at them for all I know, and then never gave it a second thought, right? Or the sun was in my eyes and somebody saw me, instead of them seeing me squint, they took it as a scowl. And so if I offended them, how would I know, right? So my prayer is, my endeavor is always to prayer, please, you know, forgive me for my sins, known and unknown. Because, I don't know, I mean, I could have gotten in line and gotten the last soda, and somebody just had to have that Big Red, you know, Coca-Cola, whatever. So I don't know all my sins, is what I'm getting at. I don't know good, bad, or ugly. I don't necessarily know all my sins. I mean, I have a general consensus in my head about what I do right and what I don't do right. and I endeavor to reflect and to have a turnaround as soon as possible of, please forgive me for my sins, right? And try never to do that again. But in this instance, I was like, holy shit. We're talking about 18 months. Talk about a prison sentence. I'm telling you guys, that's why I have been saying that as far as scripture is concerned, you know, Joseph and, not Joseph, Mary's husband, but Joseph, who had family members that couldn't stand him, and Job. I've always felt like the female Job, well, even more so these last 18 months. I just couldn't, it's like getting a letter from the IRS. Thank you, Jesus, never have. But I can imagine it's like getting a letter from the IRS, and you're told that you owe $75K. And you're like, where the hell? How the hell? How'd I do that? Right? So that's the way I had been feeling. I had been feeling like, gosh darn, you know, I can't win. Coming or going. They're getting me coming and going. And then something happened yesterday. And spiritually, I had an understanding. And I made some adjustments. And that's the way life is in general. Here on earth, it's a school, so we have to keep making adjustments, right? And what might be happening in your life maybe so radical, and everything's being cut away, that you feel like, holy shit, I worked really hard for that shit, and now it's like the water, you know, from when you go stick your hands in a bucket and you're trying to gather that water, and by the time you get to your face, it's gone through your fingers. So my goodness, I just kept feeling like I was falling and falling and falling, like nothing I touched was growing. Like everything just seemed to be going through my hands. And I went from having a lot of stability and the ability to manifest like that to right now, currently, the manifestation, you know, before yesterday was like, what the hell? Little to non-existent. Again, I kept saying, what did I do to you guys? You know, I love you. I'm your daughter. I'm here. I know why I'm here. The majority of the time, the last 18 months, I'm by myself because I'm trying to remain clean in spirit, obedient in the knowledge that I have a mission to do and perform. Now, don't get me wrong, if the right person came around and wanted to share my life completely, that's different. But I always make it known that my first and foremost reason for being here is I have to give back. I have to do this kind of work, meaning I have to help people. I can't just have a normal existence and not help people. So again, I had no idea, because everything, it's like I can imagine. This is what it felt like to me. I don't know what you're going through, but if you're going through anything, even half of what I've been through the last 18 months, I don't care if you're friend or foe, I am so sorry you're going through that. I don't care if you consider me an enemy. If you know me personally and you happen to be watching this, I am so sorry you're going through that, because coming from the inside, being able to talk about this, oh my God, I don't even know how I'm still sitting here or how I'm still standing. It's been that radical. So everything I tried to build up just kept crumbling. It felt like what it has felt like at least the last year The first 6 months were just like a foreboding. It was like, okay, here's the little tip of what you're going to experience. But the last year has been like, for me, again, this is what I've been experiencing. It's what I imagine being in a tornado and being in an earthquake all at the same time. I'm going to say that again because I want you to understand what I have been going through for the last year. It has felt like I was going through a major tornado, you know, the kind that rips houses and trees and everything and even cars and spins them into the air and throws them about. Yeah. And then let's just go ahead for shits and grins. Let's throw in an earthquake. So I felt like, if you can just imagine in your mind's eye, I felt like I was holding on to a tree for dear life. And while the wind is trying to get me and the tree to go into the storm further and further, you feel the shuddering from the earthquake. You feel the shuddering. So it's like you're vibrating and you're trying to hold on because the wind is blowing and you don't know what to do anymore. And you have, you know, your money in your pockets. Again, imagine, there's your wealth. It's in your pockets. Everything you own, you have on, so to speak, right? You see your house in front of you and it's also being taken by the hurricane or being destroyed by, you make up your mind, by the earthquake. But all your belongings are being taken little by little, one by one. And you're trying to figure out what brought about such a radical, destructive energy into your life. And the only thing that you can guesstimate is that you must have done something really fucked up. Because if you hadn't, God wouldn't be doing this to you. He would not be putting you through this shit, right? You're his child. Why would he do this to you? Why would he allow this to happen to you? Again, up to last night or yesterday when I got home, this is what my thought process was. Because it was like the gift that kept coming. Like diarrhea. Like when you have the stomach flu, when you have, I'm sorry, these are the things y'all need to understand, the gravity and the amount of energy that was coming in that was in the negative. It was like having a stomach flu and you didn't know whether to put your head in the sink or put your seat on the toilet. That extreme. Okay? Yesterday, in the evening, they showed me certain things for myself. And when they showed me that I had to remove those barriers, I went about doing it. And there were over 1,000. Okay? And I'm talking on the spiritual realm. And I set about moving them away because I had enough. And I'm one of those whose philosophy is, I can't fix what's broken if I don't know what's broken. So once I knew what was broken, I set about fixing it. Right? Being proactive. But again, the other parts that had nothing to do with me and nothing to do with, let's say, black magic, right? Or bad wishes. Why? Why would God allow this? Why? Why does God allow you to go through what you go through? Right? Maybe you lose a husband, a boyfriend, a wife, a child. Let's not put the child in. But you lose a relationship, or you lose a house, or you lose a job. You lose money, maybe, in investments. You lend people money and they don't give it back. They never repay you. Why? 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 One year in 2009, actually it's happened twice to me. In the year 1998, I was paying for my house and the bank took it back anyway. So all of this mess with the politics and all, it started way back then. And then in 2009, I was paying Bank of America, and they took my house anyway. So I ended up without a house, and I lost all the equity and everything that I had. I had just sold a smaller house to move into the bigger house, and I lost all my equity. I never got my equity out. So things can happen to you that you don't understand why. You don't understand the reasonings, and you may not feel good about it. You might feel like, what the fudge? I mean, what did I do? Why are you punishing me? So we're going to talk about Elisha. Not Elijah, but Elisha. Okay? So in Kings 1, chapter 19, verse 19, Elisha was being prepared to be king, right? Royalty. But current state of affairs was that he had his yokes that go on the oxen, and he was still plowing fields. So Elijah came to get him, and as the story goes, he was told he could not take it where he was going because he wasn't going to need it. He wasn't going to need it. Why do you think he wasn't going to need something